when the blood flows through the blood vessels. It exerts a force against the wall of the vessel, and that is called as blood pressure. This pressure is much greater in arteries than the veins. The pressure of the blood inside the artery during the ventricular contraction is called systolic pressure. The contraction is otherwise called as systole, and the pressure in artery during ventricular relaxation is called diastolic pressure. The relaxation is otherwise called as diastole. So the normal systolic pressure is 120 mm of Hg and the diastolic pressure is 80 mm of Hg. So we can measure the blood pressure with the help of an instrument called sphygmomanometer. The high blood pressure is also called as hypertension. It caused by constriction of arterioles, which results in increased resistance to blood flow. It leads to the rupture of an artery and internal bleeding. Like the blood vascular system, another transportation system is also present in our body, that is lymph or tissue fluid. So, as we discussed before, capillaries are the smallest blood vessels which can enter into the cells. So, these capillaries have pores on the walls. So, when the blood pumps through the capillaries, some amount of plasma, proteins and blood cells escape into intercellular spaces in tissues, and this forms lymph. This lymph is colorless and contains less protein. It also performs some functions. This lymph carries digested and absorbed fat from intestine and drains extra fluid from the extracellular space back into the blood. So this is about the transportation system in human beings. Next is about the transportation in plants. The plants also need to transport water and minerals, and also it has to transport food materials. So my dear students, you know that the photosynthesis takes place in leaves. So water is also a raw material for this photosynthesis. So the water is present in the soil. So these plants absorb the water from the soil with the help of the roots. So this water has to transport to the leaves. In plants, xylem, vessels and tracheids of the roots, stems and leaves are interconnected to form a continuous system of water conducting channels reaching all parts of the plant. But it needs a pushing force because the water needs to transport upwards. So, root pressure acts as a pushing force in plant body. And the plants are exposed to sunlight, you know. So, the water content from the plant body evaporated in the form of vapor. So the loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plant is known as transpiration. It creates a pulling force. So this root pressure together with this transpiration help for the transport of water in plants. The plants also need to transport food material that is prepared in the leaves. So the transport of soluble products of photosynthesis is called as translocation. This is transported through phloem. Here, sieve tubes and companion cells of the phloem helps to transport the food material. So from the leaves, the food has to transport in different directions of the plant body. So it needs more energy. So here it uses ATP as an energy source and also osmotic pressure, which helps the transport of food material in the body. But the transportation in plants is very slow when we compare the transportation system of human beings, because the plants do not move and plant bodies have large proportion of dead cells in their tissues. So the plants have low energy needs and can use relatively slow transport systems. Thank you.